Good evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bvon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. I'm so happy to be here with you guys this evening. But before I go any further, I want to take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of my heart, to thank you and to show appreciation for all of the love and support that I received along with my family, all the prayers, all the cards, all the well wishes, the hugs, the text messages, the posts, and any other way that you showed support for our family during this difficult time of the passing of our mother, Mary Squires. Let me tell you, my mother was a wonderful woman, and she is definitely going to be missed by so many people. She was a great mother, and she instilled some really wonderful things in me. And she gave me courage and talked to me about God. My mother was a God-fearing woman, and so she gave me her faith as well. And my mother was a professional. She had a wonderful job, and she also studied Stephen Covey, which is what we're talking about tonight. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to move into the reason why we're here tonight, and it's to talk about Stephen Covey's habit 4, the win-win. Think win-win. Okay, and so we're going to jump right on in. First, I want to just kind of recap. Okay, so Stephen Covey, his idea was to bring us to personal and professional maturity. So this is what you call the maturation continuum. Ooh, that sounds fancy, Coach B. Well, let me tell you all about it. First, of course, there is the dependent stage. This is where you have your personal victory, right? This is where you start off with habit 1, which is being proactive. This is where you develop your solution oriented mindset, right? Habit number 2 is going to be talking about beginning with the end in mind, right? So, beginning with the end in mind, this is the leadership part of who you are. You are the CEO of your life. And beginning with the end in mind allows you to take leadership over the direction you want your career to go. And what I mean by that is the leader is the one that is responsible for the vision. The leader brings the vision. And so when you start with the end in mind, you're able to look and see, oh my goodness, I see that wonderful, thriving personal business of mine. I see that wonderful home I live in and the lake where I park my boat. I see myself having vacations and traveling across the world. Ooh, that sounds pretty extravagant, coach. But yes, this is your opportunity to dream big, to think big. Think about where you want to end up. Think about how you want people to remember you. See, this is part of being the leader. You begin with the end in mind, and you think about where you want to go, and then you write it out. You write the steps. Oh, this is where we're going to start. Do I need education? What do I need in order to move towards a direction that is going to allow me to end up with this wonderful life, the thriving business, the home, the car, the boat, the motorcycle, the husband, the wife, the wonderful life. How do we begin with that, right? We begin with the end in mind. Okay. And so then after that, um, habit number 3, okay? Habit number 3 is where you're going to put first things first. And what that means, this is the manager part of who you are. You are your own CEO. You are the leader of your life, and you're also the manager of your life. And what I mean by that is you get to now use your skill set in a way that allows you to achieve the end that you were already visualizing. Now you get to see what step goes first and what step goes second. Now, of course, you have to understand this isn't something that comes intuitive to most people. And so you're probably more than likely going to need someone to help you understand all of that. And that's where I come in. I'm your coach. And you can call me at 317-721-4315. Or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. Okay? So, as we continue to move forward, today we are talking about habit 4. Think win-win. Now, we have really been conditioned to think win-lose, unfortunately. But Stephen Covey says, hey, no, that's a losing way to think. When you have a win-lose thought process, you are then creating unhealthy competition for yourself, because that means somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And so if you're the type of person that says, I have to win at all costs, no matter what, I am going to win. Okay, so that is a good attitude to have in terms of determination, tenacity, in terms of perseverance, those sorts of things. It's really great to think as a winner. However, the win-lose thought process comes from an idea of scarcity. Oh, there's not enough. There's not enough knowledge. There's not enough power. There's not enough money. Oh, no. I can't let you know what I know, because then you might get something that I want. You might get that promotion instead of me if I tell you what I know. Not a good way to think. Definitely not a win-win thought process. See, with a win-win thought process, you realize that abundance is at the core of win-win, because there is plenty to go around. What is for you? Let me tell you, it is for you. No one can get the blessings that have your name written on them. They're yours. And there are enough blessings to go around for everyone. So now I want to tell you, when you are in a win-win thought process, you are in a mutual beneficial way of thinking. How can we work together? See, when you work together and you create what now is called independence, right? Independence starts with habit number 4, think win-win. Then it goes into habit number 5, seek to understand rather than to be understood. Then habit number 6, which is synergy, which brings us all together. It's all about relationships, I want to tell you. It's all about relationships and how we can work together so that we both benefit, so that everyone involved has a beneficial part of the success. And what I mean by that, let's say, for instance, I decide I want to invest $5,000. Ooh, that's a nice investment, right? Well, look, if all I'm doing is investing $5,000, then oh my goodness, just think how long that could take in order to see the yield. But if I put my $5,000 with a group of other people who have their $5,000, now we all have an opportunity. Now our money, our investment has more bargaining power because we are collective now and not having to do it on an individual basis, right? And so in this way, our total sum, right? The total sum of us is greater than the individual pieces of the pie. Now we have a bigger piece of pie. The thing about it is, I want you to know that the private victory is what you do in the first 3 habits. Then once you've mastered the private victory, now you take all of your goodness. Now you take all of your positive mindset, your win-win thought process. You take your leadership that you have been able to develop. You take the managerial skills that you've been able to develop. You develop these just by applying these principles to your personal life. And so then you take this personal victory and you move it up to now what is called independence for the public victory. Now you're working with others, not just by yourself. Hi, thank you for coming on. Okay, so what I want you to know now is that You don't have to be threatened by other people. Okay. Everyone has their own part to play in the greater whole. But if I do my job the best of my ability, then I can feel good about that. I can feel good about that. See, when someone else gets the praise and recognition, I don't have to worry, because just because they got praise and recognition doesn't mean I don't get any. Of course, I'm going to get my praise and recognition for the job that I'm doing. I don't have to compete for that. See, there is no scarcity. It's all about abundance. It's all about the thought process. See, if I'm thinking about how things can be mutually beneficial, then I am more apt to work with other people. I'm more apt to number one, bring my best ideas, because I'm not in competition. We are trying to work together. That's like a team effort, right? Everybody brings their best to the team, and then the presentation is wonderful, and everyone shares in the accolades. Everyone shares in the recognition. It's not just me by myself. It's not the other person by themselves. Okay? So what I want you to help you understand here is that the mutual benefit that you get from working together with someone is going to carry over into your personal life, right? Because now at home, we're going to think win-win. We're going to think about the family unit. We're going to think to seek to understand rather than to be understood. That is the core of the whole thing. Is you have to think to understand the next person and find out what their needs are, find out what they're bringing to the table, and so that maybe you can come alongside of them and bring something different. And now together, you guys have something wonderful. I'm really grateful for Stephen Covey's thought processes and the way he brings us all together. You know, if we go through each one of these habits, we are going to reach the maturation, personal and professional maturation, that he had hoped we would. So today's talk about think win-win should put something on your mind. It should put something on your mind, because it's like, okay, so if I'm thinking win-win, then I am not being selfish in any way. If I'm thinking win-win, and not only that, I'm bringing my solution-oriented mind that I got from habit one, from being proactive. I'm bringing that to the table. I'm bringing, the ability to see the vision to the table. I'm bringing so much from my personal victory into the table so that we can all have a public victory. So if everyone's bringing their best, can you imagine what that would feel like? Woo! I can think about the synergy right now. I feel energized. I feel, my mindset, I'm open to ideas, listening to people's thought processes and bringing everything together. Now I'm learning things that I didn't know before. Now I am in an opportunity that I can have personal growth because of the people that I'm actually connected with, right? I know there's a saying that says, if you are the smartest person in your group, or your circle, maybe your circle is not big enough, right? And so when we think about bringing the win-win mindset to the group, then we're thinking like, wow, I have something to learn here. Number one, I get to practice what I already know. I get to learn something that I never did before. And also, I get to see what ways just won't work, because now we are all collectively throwing our ideas together. See, I don't have to go and fail 50 million times, right? Because everybody's bringing their experiences to the table. So I don't have to go around failing anymore. All I have to do is just reach out to the group that I have to listen to some of the ways that they failed. See, I don't have to fail. I can learn from someone else's mistakes today. I can learn from someone else's failures. Now, of course, that not everyone can, but if you can learn from the failures of another person, then you are well on your way to success, right? I love this win-win idea, and I hope that I'm saying something to you today that will edify you, that will help you understand that you do not have to be in competition with the next person. The win-lose paradigm, oh my gosh. See, you have a choice. Either you're going to go from the abundance paradigm or you're going to go from the scarcity paradigm. But I want to tell you, whichever one of these paradigms that you choose, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whichever one of these paradigms that you choose, you are going to create the behavior to support that paradigm. And so if you have a paradigm of win, lose, or lose, win, I'm telling you, the behaviors that support that type of process, I don't know if I want somebody like that in my life. You know what I mean? But if you can think about the win-win, the abundance paradigm, then that is where you want to be. That way, everyone has a place and not just the one single person. We can all win. There's enough for everyone. There's enough knowledge. There's enough accolades. There's enough, there is just enough power, enough money, enough everything for everyone. And so that if you don't get anything else out of what I'm telling you today, I need you to understand that there is enough. You don't have to go comparing yourself to others, because when you do, somehow you're going to either fall a little short or you're going to be a little over. But either way, you're not going to meet with the next person. See, when you're thinking from a win-lose standpoint, you're in comparative mode. You're like, I don't know if I can trust her. She might get that promotion. What a miserable way to think. Going to work every day thinking about how you have to, be better than Susie Q over there, or you have to compete with John over there. Oh my gosh, can you imagine what your work day would be like, feeling like you have to compete with everyone that you encounter just so that you can get your promotions? What I want to tell you today is have faith. Have faith in your process. Have faith in your ability to achieve greatness, because you can. It's in you. I know it is. I know it is. I believe in you. And I know that if you put your best foot forward, if you put your best energy into whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to be successful. And that's what it's all about. Being successful without being selfish, right? Being successful without having a win-lose thought process, because that's just an illusion. There's no success with that type of process, that thought process. Okay? All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today. I'm so happy to have been able to bring this message to you about habit number 4, thinking win-win. Next week, when we come back, we'll be talking about habit number 5. Habit number 5 is seek to understand rather than be understood. And so that's what we'll talk about next week. But until then, I want you to be blessed. Be blessed and be the best that you can be, because guess what? There is not another one of you on this earth. So go out there and be the best you that you can be. You deserve to be represented in this world. So go out there and just make yourself known. Just do something that will take your life to the next level. Do something that will take you one step closer to your goal. I call this Willingness Wednesday because I want to know, what are you willing to do to get to where you're trying to go? What are you willing to do today? How are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone today? How are you willing to speak up and make that suggestion? When they're asking for suggestions, go ahead and send yours out there. I'm sure it's a great suggestion that everyone will love it. Have the confidence in yourself to know that you have what it takes to succeed. I'm so grateful to be your coach. And if you need me, you know how to reach me. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.